Welcome to episode 5 of So You Want to Be a Star in the Music Business. Today's topic, we want to talk about something that most entertainers would rather not deal with. They just want to play music and not deal with the hard stuff. So today's topic is going to be legal issues and lawyers. So one thing that before we start our topic, I just want to say something I thought was basic, but then when I realized most people don't understand that there's a big difference between an entertainment lawyer and any other lawyer. So just like choosing a doctor, you don't go to a veterinarian, for a toothache for you instead of your puppy. But the same thing for the music business. If at all possible, you always want to deal with an entertainment attorney because your contract from for a deal could be the difference, could be one comma off, and put you in a contract for 10 years versus 2, or could net you an income of $1 million versus a $10,000. So it's a big difference when you understand.
And to that point, about 10 years ago, I worked on a recording deal we changed one word and it made a difference of $60,000 income, and it was buried inside a big paragraph. Um, Lawyers could look at it, they don't necessarily know what it's worth. So that's entertainment lawyers do. However, if you've got an uncle or a brother who is a lawyer, it's better to talk to them than not to talk to a lawyer at all. On that note, I want to talk about what kind of lawyers, how you find one, and what you should be looking for, and why not to be afraid of lawyers. Most managers, if they know their business, should be able to read and write a legal contract in their sleep. When you talk to managers, when you're speaking to people, if they can't write you a simple contract by themselves, go find a different manager. Uh, Along the way, though, managers who can write a contract also know that lawyers know more about it than they do. So, one of the first things we talked about in the previous episode was money. You must save some money. The most dangerous thing I have heard throughout my career is when an artist finally gets a contract. It could be for the smallest thing. It could just be they're going to put my 30 seconds of my song in a TV pilot, and they wrote a contract. And my immediate suggestion is, let's call up your lawyer, let them review it. It will cost you only 1 hour of their time. Well, 1 hour for most attorneys starts at $350 and goes up. The highest price entertainment attorney that I personally know in New York City charges $975 an hour.
Wow.
For something as small as a little 30-second thing, he's not going to charge you. He's going to send it to one of his lower category lawyers to review for you, so you'll be charged a smaller amount. You do have to ask, but $350 sounds like a lot of money when you're not making any. But you must have that money available. It is going to make the difference about you making some money from the contract and you just signing something that gives you rights away.
But tell them what you mentioned before, because most aspiring artists don't have the money. So then that person either probably really needs to truly believe in your talent, and then you kind of work out a barter in the sense that they feel like they'll get a percentage of something later on, especially if it's a deal coming from a label, for example, that seems to be pretty lucrative. Then they may be willing to forego the retainer fee or the upfront money for a percentage of whatever your deal might be that they work out.
Except you don't want to choose that lawyer just because they're going to do it. So while that is possible, and you have to not be afraid of lawyers, that's a very important point. I don't care if you're 16 years old, if you walk into a lawyer's office or talk to them on the phone and you feel intimidated by them, you found the wrong lawyer. There are plenty of independent lawyers who do not work for giant firms, who love the music industry, love working with all kinds of artists, and what they will do is they will teach you what is in your contract. So will a good manager. They will say, let's go through it. Here's a paragraph that sounds totally obnoxious, is in legalese, and no one in their right mind should have written it this way. But all it means is you agree to show up with a finished song on March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes so easy. If you say, "Oh, I can't do this. I don't want to. I'm afraid to sit down." No, you do it for me. You do it for me. That's why I'm paying you. Then you don't deserve your contract.
Yep.
You must train yourself to like lawyers. I know it's a hard thing to do, but they're really nice guys and women, and they're the ones who are what I call teachers, who sit there and say, I want to empower the artist to understand what they're getting into. That's the attorney you want. And you have to feel comfortable. You also, more importantly, especially if they're doing a deal for you and helping you out without charging you their full fee, you can't waste their time. So if you have an appointment at 2:15, you are there no later than 2:10. And when you walk in that room, you say hello. You can chit-chat for 2 minutes, but you get right to business. You also don't ask them to write a letter to someone when you know how to write the letter. Read through the contract yourself. Circle things you don't understand. Don't walk in cold and blind. They, believe it or not, are not looking to make a ton of money from you. They want to do the least amount of work and be the most successful for you, because in the long run, they'll make more money that way. If you go in and expect them to do all the work, you're wasting your time, their time, and more importantly, your money.
But on top of that, you can't always, I think the pitfall of a lot of entertainers is relying on everyone else to do their work. So just make sure you at least have a working knowledge of what's in somebody's contracts. You don't need to go to law school yourself, but if at all possible, take a contracts class, or at least one specific to the entertainment industry, so you at least understand the basic words and phrases, like notwithstanding the foregoing. Google can be your best friend sometimes too. If you really don't understand something, make sure you Google it. In any situation where all possible, especially whether it's an indie deal or a major label, just make sure that whoever's doing this contract with you, or all the parties involved, that you go over each and every single section one by one, break that contract down. Any questions you have, take the time. Don't ever feel rushed to turn the contract in immediately. Take the time. Take the time, because sacrificing a day or trying to get something done makes a big difference on the amount of money you keep and the amount of money you make.
Also, the favorite phrase of most young artists when asked, "So do you understand what I'm saying?" they're all afraid to say no, or that's right over my head, or I have no idea, but you're explaining to me, but I don't know what you just said. And then they say yes, they walk out, they sign it, and then 3 years later they went, what did I sign? Ask. Just ask. You do your homework. Maybe it's only an hour of your time, but an hour of your time is free. An hour of a lawyer's time is $350 and more. Also, a very quick plug, boom, and I know the title's backwards. My book, Managing Artists in Pop Music, on Allworth Press, available on Amazon.com. The second edition just came out. In the back of the book are 3 types of contracts: booking contracts, management artist contracts, and recording deals. In the back, and paragraph by paragraph, I explain what part of the legalese you can throw in the garbage and what the paragraphs mean. So it's not a bad place to start to try to understand what all of this means. I'm telling you, a paragraph that's an entire page long can actually mean something that, when written in English, is one line. And a good lawyer will talk to you that way. Also, you can learn how to figure that out.
That's right.
So, go ahead.
Basically, check out our website. Take $10, spend it on this book, and not only will you learn some of the basics on legal information, but a lot more things involving your career and how to help yourself along the way. And find out more information on the website. It's www.MWEntGroup.com. Also,
Twitter _MWEG. And those who have been writing to us and telling us that they're getting something from this, we appreciate it. If you have suggestions or if things are boring you to death, please let us know. We're trying to be helpful. That's the entire purpose of this thing. All right, and thanks for watching. Shout out today goes to...
I had a brain freeze. I'm going to have to save it for the next episode.
All right, we'll save it for the next episode. Shout out to all of you out there. Please share this with other people. All of our episodes are online now permanently, so you can just keep finding them.
See you next time.